So I'm here with the most amazing marathoner, Meb, and I have a couple questions for you. Meb, how old were you when you truly considered yourself a runner?
When I first truly considered to be a runner, I was 37. That's how old I am right now because I'm still competing. But I first started running in 7th grade P class, and my parents always encouraged us when we came to the United States in 1987 to do your best. And the PE teacher said, if you run hard, you're gonna get A or B. If you mess around, you're gonna get D or F. So I don't want to disappoint myself or my parents, so I just ran as hard as I can. And guess what? To get a t-shirt, you have to run 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and you get your picture in the window, and you get this, friendship that you have as a 7th grader. And for me, I wanted to get those, so I just ran as hard as I can. And instead of running 6:15, I ran at 5:20, and that got me the t-shirt, my picture in the window, and an A for the class, and I improved by 10 seconds. So I definitely have the talent, but you have to work very hard on what your goal is to achieve the things you want to achieve, because nothing is handed to you, and you have to be very determined, dedicated. Even though people told me I was going to be an Olympian, it didn't happen overnight. 1997, when I was a junior in college, is probably when I thought, oh, maybe this could be a profession. But before that, it was all about academics and athletics, but mainly academics came first and athletics second.
So we can thank a t-shirt for your being Meb. Wow.
It's a red t-shirt like the one that your husband does, city coach, and for me it just had Roosevelt Junior High, Ma Club, and then the winged foot in the middle of it. So I'm trying to find it because I want to give, when I give a motivational speak, I want to be able to wear that shirt. That's how it started. And now I'm a 3-time Olympian, IN Junior City Marathon champion, and silver medalist. But it started with a t-shirt.
Wow. So for you, it was started with an external factor. It's not that you even knew that you had the potential talent, and somebody told you that. So when you ran your 5:20, what did your coach say?
When I ran 5:20 in 7th grade, the coach was just looking amazed because for 7th grade, he expected 6:15. He saw 5:20. He just said, he called the high school coach, which happened to be Ed Ramos. He said, hey, we have an Olympian here. But, he said there cannot be any distractions. You got to work hard. And I was a miler and moved to the 2-mile and then became a 5K, 10K, and eventually a marathon. But it was a stepping stone and league champion, right. Qualified for CIF, which is for the state meet, and then to the nationals. And I only made national my senior year. I didn't make it beforehand, even though I had the talent, because at that level everybody's talented. It's just who can stay healthy and who can work the hardest.
And when he planted that seed in your head that we have an Olympian here, to what degree did you embrace that? Did you think I can be an Olympian?
Oh, at that point, I'll be honest, I was a soccer player and I didn't even know what the Olympics were. So I didn't even know running was a sport. So I have to go and ask my dad, what are the Olympics? And then a year later that year was 1988. It was the Olympics year, but I didn't even no idea. And I was born 1975.
Right. And you said in college, what happened in college, the shift from your just being a good runner to, I can do this professionally and I have that top runner quality?
My best college year was 1997. I was a junior at UCLA, and the reason I said I consider this maybe a sport or a profession was I won 5K indoors, and then I won the 5K, 10K double, with having a prelim in the 5K. So Wednesday was the 10K final, Thursday 5K prelim, Friday off, Saturday 5K final. So you run 50 laps in 3 days or 3.5 days, and I won all those. My two NCAAs, and then my senior year I came a cross country NCAA title, and I'm like, wow, this is something I could consider as a profession. But then I stuck to my roots, what my parents had taught me: education is the key to life. And I thought about going pro, but I'm like, no, you gotta have your diploma. That's the most important thing in life, and I did that. And then I made my first Olympic team in 2000. But the first light that went on was 97.
Yeah, and people think of you as a marathoner, and that didn't, you weren't a marathoner when you were 20. Like, how did you progress into marathon? Basically, how did you find that the marathon was your distance?
When I was a sophomore in high school, this guy named Ron Tabb, who was a marathoner himself, who was second in Boston, and he ran 2:09. He goes, you gotta be a marathoner. I'm like, how far is that? And then Mike Anderson, one of my teammates' dad in high school, he says, "You're gonna be a beautiful marathon runner because of form and the way I glide, I guess." I'm like, really? And then eventually in 2002, 10 years ago, New York City gave me the first opportunity to run the marathon, and I did good. I mean, I ran 2:12:35, and I was gonna go for the win, and I got it down to 4 people with about 4.5, 5 miles to go, but eventually they all passed me, and I hit the wall.
Right.
There's a wall in the marathon. And eventually they put 4 minutes out of me in the last 4.5 miles, and I never ever want to do it again. So, but once you get that week and a half, 2 weeks out of that your system, and you go, oh, I kind of want to ready to train again. But I was once a stepping stone, mile, 2 mile, 5K, 10K. That's what it has been. And then eventually 10 years ago, I gave it a shot at the marathon, and it's been very successful at it.
Yeah, no doubt. To what degree the marathon is so hard, and I'm sure you feel tired out there. To what degree does muscle memory factor into your being such a superstar out there?
Oh, very kind.
Like, do you get as tired as the rest of us?
Thank you for the kind comments about. No, the marathon is grueling for everybody. It's just it becomes to our level, the elite level. It's like, when are you gonna hurt? Are you gonna hurt mile 19, or are you gonna hit mile 23 and gas it out, or are you gonna hit mile 10 and having a long, 26.2 is long, but if things gonna start going wrong at 7 miles or 8 miles, it becomes like more like 42 kilometers, 42 miles. You know? So we all get hurt. And that's the beauty of it, because everybody knows the 26.2 journey. We get discomfort and brutally pain, but it's just you have to dig down deep to what motivates you. And then whether I want to win the New York City Marathon, or somebody wants to break 4 hours, or somebody wants to break 3 hours, or somebody wants to break 3.5, and things like that. That keeps you, all the people's sponsorship for me, but also for people who are weekend warriors. They invest in their body. It's 5:30 a.m. workouts, or after work workouts and things like that. So that keeps you going. It's like, hey, I invested too much in this, so I have to finish it out to the finish line. And the finish line sometimes takes longer than others. But I've been there myself, where I had food poisoning, 2006 New York City Marathon, and finished in 2:20. That's my slowest marathon, but it was a difficult moment, because I was looking in the crowd. I said, who has some food? Because I want to grab it and eat it.
What advice would you give to a high schooler about getting to the top of his or her sport?
To the high schooler, what advice I would give them is, be patient, listen to instructions, because listening is part of success. And people are giving you advice for a reason. So therefore, take that advice, because those people have been there, experienced it, and they want the best for you, because they want to see you successful. Therefore, just make progress, but due diligence to give respect to the people who are giving you advice, and surround yourself with good people, because if you are in a positive environment, things will go for you.
Yeah. And some folks think you're born an Olympian or not. How do you feel about this?
No, I'm not born as an Olympian. I have to, champions are not born, but they're made, and it's one of my sponsor garments code. But it's because we have to do. They might see us on November 4th or every November in New York City Marathon, but we're busting our butt for 350 years. Maybe we get 2 weeks off, if there is anything off, but it's just what you do day in, day out, continuously, routine, know what works. We make mistakes, we're humans, but how do you not make the same mistakes again? And then how do you improve on that to make you better athlete? And also, I think running does it, just makes you a better person.
And we all see you as successful, Meb, and you talked a little bit about the food poisoning, but do you know failure, Meb, and how has that informed how you race and how you train?
I know failure, but fear of failure is what makes me successful, because I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to disappoint my parents, who sacrificed their life to give us opportunity for the United States. And for me to be able to say, we didn't speak English, we didn't have money, we didn't have anything, so I'm like, I gotta make it. Otherwise, the other side of it is not very pretty. So I kept pushing, and I might get notoriety for what I have accomplished in terms of running, but all my 10 brothers and sisters have gone to accomplish great things. And why? Because you want to they are expected of you. That's expected for you. And if you don't live up to it, you disappoint yourself and the people who are investing in you. So therefore, whether it's a teacher, whether it's the coaches, whether it's sponsorship, whether it's boss who's allowing you to have a little bit lenient schedule so you can try for the Olympic trials or to get ready for a state meet or for the Masters or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You know, you have to push yourself, because if you don't go 110% commitment,
Right.
you not only disappoint yourself, but you're disappointing
Yeah.
others. And that's what, for me, the fear kind of gets you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
shaky, a little up to say, hey, I can't let it, I have to depend on myself to do well, to make people who are happy, who support me.
And what do you think is the difference beyond the speed of your being out there versus the next person? Like, what's that mental advantage that you have? I mean, you have a physical advantage, and you know, I see you run and you just glide out there. Your art in motion, it's so beautiful. But it's not just, you know, the physical, Meb, because there are other people who are just as talented. Like you in the Olympics, like you pick people off. Like, why do you not give up when you're out there?
For me is my God-given talent, what I talked about in 7th grade, and just work hard
Yep.
and day in, day out. Yeah, race day I might make it look easy, but the hundreds and hundreds of miles that I do, 100 to 130 miles a week, is what gives me. I cross train. I may sometimes 3 times a week I'm on the bike. Therefore, yeah, the perfect day comes. You know, you hit a home run, but you know you're gonna have pitfalls. You're not gonna hit every workout either, but you know what the long-term goal is. So you have to do increments. You know, what weekly or monthly or what leading up to those races, and then come race days, going for an exam. And if you don't study, you're not gonna have confidence. You're not gonna pass it very well like you would thought. But if you do the homework and you do the classwork and everything else, then you should be happy going to the exam to do the test.
Sure, that's so funny you say that, because one second, I think about my kids who get really nervous about taking a test, and you're talking about preparation before that exam. How anxious are you before your race?
I'm very anxious before a race because I really believe that preparation is the key to success. I've done those, but also at the same time, you know, when I run 130 miles a week, 120 miles a week, and now I'm doing 45, I have all that energy. Kind of like when I'm gonna get this test, you know, you've done your homework,
Right.
you've done the classwork, you've done the study guide. Now you just guys like, I want to get it done, and at the same time with running. So I don't sleep very well the night before. I get very anxious, but you know, if I can sleep throughout the week and hydrate and eat right and all that stuff, and then come race day, you have nothing to be scared of, because you already gave it 110% in preparation. So therefore, you feel very good on going executing the game plan.
Meb, it's so obvious why everybody cheers for you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Sure.